Good evening and welcome. Tonight we will be going over the history and geography of Belize District in Belize, which is a bit of a conundrum for me because I like to title my videos with just the name of the administrative division, comma, the name of the country it's in. But this division is called Belize. It is in the country of Belize. So I'm not about to call this video Belize, comma, Belize, history and geography. So it's just Belize District. Just so I'm not writing the same word over and over. Because the capital of Belize District is Belize City. You can see there, which is actually the largest city in Belize. We'll talk about why that is in its history. But Belize District is actually really beautiful. It's very forested the more inland you go. It has this beautiful, rugged Caribbean coastline, and all around it, starting up here and all down along the coast, are beautiful keys, which in this corner of the Caribbean is spelled C-A-Y-S. I know in America it's spelled K-E-Y-S. Here it's C-A-Y-S, Keys, which are just little islands around there. And actually, many of these keys are part of the reef system, the coral reef system, which is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. So let me pull that up on my tablet real quick, and we're going to read all about the Belize Barrier Reef Reserve System. It says, the coastal area of Belize is an outstanding natural system consisting of the largest barrier reef in the northern hemisphere, offshore atolls, several hundred sand keys, mangrove forests, coastal lagoons, and estuaries. The system's 7 sites illustrate the evolutionary history of reef development and are a significant habitat for threatened species, including marine turtles, manatees, and the American marine crocodile. Let's take a look at some of the pictures. Now, the most famous site in this coral reef is actually not part of Belize District. Look at that pretty little fishies and turtles. The coral, so pretty. There's a squid. But we're going to look at it on Google Earth anyway because it's just too beautiful. I can't pass it up. But just note that when we go look at the Great Blue Hole, that's not part of Belize District. But I can't help myself. It's too pretty. But what we have here is also so beautiful. Yeah, this reef system takes up many different districts of Belize. So pretty much anytime we talk about an area of Belize that's along the coast, we're going to read about this UNESCO site. Isn't that fun? We'll get to revisit it over and over again. But yeah, you can see that the Great Blue Hole is out here. Out here, what does it say? Half Moon Cave National Monument. Oh, here it is. Blue Hole National Monument. This atoll here, or key, is not part of it, but we're going to look at it anyway. Let's just pretend for today that it is. Just pretend. I can't help myself. But yeah, pretty much all there is to say. The Belize River flows out to sea here at Belize City, and yeah, lots of beautiful, thick Central American jungle here. Belize, probably, if I had to pick one country in Central America to visit, it'd probably be Belize, and that's mainly because, well, 2 reasons. One is that English is the widest spoken language here, and we'll talk about why that is in its history. And also because Belize pretty much has everything that the other countries of Central America have, but all just compacted into one tiny country here. Starting off with the first thing we're going to talk about in history. Let me find it on the map real quick. Here it is. This is Altan Ha. Altan Ha was a Mayan city that was populated between the years 900 BCE and 1000 CE. And it's not as big and grand as like Tikal, all the other Mayan cities you find here throughout the Petén and along the coast here in Guatemala, and Mexico up there. But it is still very beautiful. We're definitely going to take a look at it on Google Earth. Definitely was a very thriving city in its time during like the peak era of the Mayan times, like the 800s, 900 CE, and was depopulated during the Mayan decline, which still is technically a mystery today. I think it was pretty much a combination of environmental issues and overpopulation. That is the most logical explanation to me, but the city was eventually abandoned sometime in the 1000s. And what's interesting about Mayan culture is that the further here you go into the Petén, the thicker the jungle is, and there could be many other cities that have just been swallowed up by the forest there that we haven't found yet, and that's always very exciting. I know they do like radar scans of the forest and they find all kinds of old buildings that are just impossible to see from above. So that's always exciting to me, that there's far more history out here that can be found, and maybe someday we will find it. That's wonderful. But yeah, Altunha is the big Mayan site here in the Belize district. There are, of course, Mayan people still around today in this area. But the first major settlement came in the 1600s, like 1630s. Now, of course, Central America, the Spanish had pretty much gobbled up all of the prime areas here in Central America and Mexico and what's now parts of the United States, like Florida. Although I'd argue Florida's not prime anything, but Florida's kind of the worst. But no shade to Floridians, Florida's just the worst. But the British were like, oh, is that so? Well, we know that along the coast here are some gorgeous trees with magnificent woods like mahogany, logwood is here, and it's extremely valuable. So we want a piece of the pie, and they kind of snuck in here in the 1600s and started logging. And since it was such a big industry that you need a lot of manpower for, they brought in many African slaves to work there. You wind up getting a Creole culture here, mix of the British, well, technically the English at this time, the slaves from Africa, and the indigenous populations here, and some Spanish too, and you wind up getting a Creole culture that was known as the Baymen. And they became the dominant group here in what would soon become Belize City. Then it was called Belize Town. And as this town started to grow and prosper and generate a huge profit for Great Britain, the Spanish were like, hold up. Isn't this like our turf? Don't we have claim to all of this, even though we technically hadn't landed there and hadn't set up anything? Shouldn't that be ours? Because Central America, North America, South America, it's kind of our thing along the coast. Don't worry about Brazil, but it's kind of our thing. Don't worry about the British and the French up there. It's our thing down here. So they would go and attack a couple of times, but the last big battle was in 1798. It was the Battle of St. George's Key. And the Spanish had one last big attempt to take over what's now Belize City, and they failed, and the British were successful, and today it's a national holiday. The success of that battle. There's not much. I checked out St. George's Key on Google Earth. There's not much there. There's only some lighthouses and little hotels. I thought there'd be anything commemorating the battle, but I didn't see anything. Maybe any Belizeans out there can let me know. But eventually, Belize City would go on to become the capital of what was then known as British Honduras, and would remain the capital until Belize gained its independence from Great Britain. Just naming the country after the city, kind of in the same vein as Guatemala City, Mexico City, San Salvador's and El Salvador, Panama cities down there, Kind of keeping with the theme here. Belize City. But many geography nerds will know that it is not the capital today, right? The capital today is Belmopan. So how did that come to be? Well, it happened in 1961 when the coast was hit with Hurricane Hattie, and the city was pretty much devastated by this. Now, hurricanes would hit the city and the coast here many times throughout the 20th century and 21st century also, really flooding the city and causing destruction. So the government here was like, you know what, this is not a prime spot for our capital city. If we're going to build all of these capital city buildings and they could just be destroyed every hurricane season, that's not ideal. So they moved inland and created Belmopan as the capital city. So that is now the capital today. But Belize City still remains the largest city because it has always been like the main city of Belize since its very, very beginnings back in the 1600s. And that is essentially the history of Belize district. It's pretty sparsely populated out here. There's little villages and things, not very many pictures, but the pictures that are out there are pretty nice. So, and of course the pictures out here are stunning and gorgeous. So we're going to hop over to the tablet and we're going to go take a look. And yeah, like I said, we are going to go peek at the Great Blue Hole. But remember, Great Blue Hole is not part of Belize District. We're just looking at it because I think it's one of the most beautiful places in the world. And it's right there. So we're just going to peek at it at the end of the video as a little treat, okay? Let's head over to the tablet. Here we are in Belize District. I need to slide to the side here. There we go. Okay. Let's zoom out so you can see exactly where we are in the world. If you're not quite sure where Belize is, that's okay. It's one of the lesser known countries of Central America. So here we can see Mexico, the United States up there, Central America's down here, Guatemala, Nicaragua, Costa Rica, and Panama, among many others, like El Salvador. Actually, I think that's it. Honduras. There we go. That's Central America. The Caribbean is just a hop, skip, and a jump over here. And then, of course, down here we hit South America. So Belize is tucked away right here between the Yucatan of Mexico and the Petén of Guatemala. So yeah, the Petén is this big area up here. Can't wait to cover that. It's going to be in a long time because I'm going in alphabetical order. But I'm excited to one day hop over there. And the Yucatan, of course, is very easy to spot from above. The Belize is tucked right down there. So let's start off in Belize City. You can see it sprawling out here on this peninsula. Isn't that neat? I think it's neat. And let's see. Let's start at the Museum of Belize. There's quite a bunch of little fun slideshows here in Belize City. We're not going to look at all of them, but I encourage you to play around and check out the Belize District and Belize City because there's a lot of fun spots that I'm not going to show you today that you can uncover. So I think at the time of this photo there was an exhibit, there's a cormorant, an exhibit on the history of slavery in Belize. You can see here. Very dark chapter in the history of the world, to be honest, right? Yeah, I hate this picture. Just human suffering, just visualized. But lots of fun little trinkets from history here. Yeah, the rise and fall of slavery. So it looks like that was a special exhibit at the time. And there's a skeleton down there, so we're going to skip past that, just in case that's disturbing to some people. We've got a pretty lighthouse over here. Oopsie. There we go. Nope, that's UNESCO. Google Earth, please. There we go. Really gorgeous. Belize in rainbow colors. You can look at the sea out here. So, when I say beachy areas, I don't mean like bikinis and surfing. It's very mangrovey out here. And rocky, as you can see. It's not like a great beach resort, but there is a port here for cruise ships to dock. The tourist village right there. That's where the cruise ships would dock to explore Belize City. So yeah, it's not quite the like beachy paradise you imagine the Caribbean to be, but it's still very beautiful nonetheless. It's another sign. Belize, look, they're sitting on top. Little turtles. And yeah, that's a nice coastal area, isn't it? And the airport's just nearby here. You can watch all the planes land. That's always fun. Another pretty rainbow sign. Belize. There's the lighthouse. There's a good swimming spot. Another sign. They're all over the place. That's really fun. Lots of photo opportunities. Here comes a cruise ship. Yeah, it's a fun little town from what I can tell. Lots to see and do. Of course, good food to eat. And lots of fun little things to explore just outside. I think now's the time to hop over to Alton Ha. First, we gotta find it. Let's see. Oh, the Crooked Tree Sanctuary over here is really neat too. We got some water birds, a little heron maybe. And it's just a nice little area, nice little wetland where little feathery friends to live and little fishy friends to swim around. It's really pretty. Pretty lily pads there, little bird. Go biking. Go bird watching. Oh, pretty kingfisher there. At least I think it's a kingfisher. It looks like one. There's a cool little ducky bird, waterfowl. So let's see. It's around here somewhere. Let's go find a Mayan city. Oh, I found it. Well, that was very easy. Alton Ha. So here you can see it from above. All of the old temples and buildings here. The Mayans were really into big courtyards and things. So you can see all the buildings here from above. All the tourist areas over here. But let's check it out. Alton Ha. It's really neat. And like I said, it's not the beautiful, grand, giant pyramids that when you think of like Tikal, but it's still incredibly fascinating. They've made all kinds of different archaeological finds here. Pieces of like jade jewelry and carvings and writings. There's some eccentrics. Symbols of prestige, wealth, and power. They found lots of writing here that they can decipher. And big old well there by the looks of it. Yeah, it's still a good one. I wouldn't mind, like if I only had time to visit one Mayan site in my whole life and it wound up being Alton Ha, I wouldn't be disappointed. It's pretty neat. It's a nice little compact one. Which was still a very big, thriving city at its time. Let's see. I'm trying to think if I want to show you one other thing here inland, but you can see the logging history from above, can't you? I'll show you the forest here. You can see all the little gaps where there was forest, now there isn't. And that's because of the very profitable logging industry. So thankfully we have forests reserves here that are protected. Oh, it's just more pictures of Alton Ha. There's a cool tree. Yeah. Some of the slideshows out here aren't great, but the ones that are pretty cool. But yeah. I'll let you guys explore the rest. There's some cool little zoos and stuff, but you know what? I meant to check this out before and I didn't. Let's see it real quick. An eco lodge at the lagoon. Oh, cool. What are those called? Pontoons? Can go pontooning down the river here. Ooh, that's a fun photo op. Yeah. Very marshy. Mangrovey. Lots of fun. All right, let's head out to the Keys. See what we can find. There's the coffee key. Any pictures of coffee key? No. See, here's St. George's Key, right? So there's like resorts and things, but I was like, is there anything about the battle? But I don't see anything. Like anything to even commemorate it. Maybe it's just not geotagged. Maybe you guys can find it. You can see how marshy and mangrovey it is over there. Look at all that. But yeah, all of this you can see out here in the water, that's all coral. Look at how absolutely massive that is. That is all beautiful coral life. Let's see, I need to show you Ambergris Key. I think it's up here somewhere. Isn't it? Ambergris Key, I thought it was up there. I could be wrong. That's like, yeah, Ambergris Key is this popped up in every bit of research, but I don't think I can tap on the name. Secret Beach. Let's go. The Secret Beach. Now we're talking beach. We got nachos and ceviche by the looks of it. I'm not a raw fish person. No, thank you. I'll pass on the ceviche. She's doing a pretty photo op there. Isn't that beautiful? Yeah, gets much more Caribbean-y out in the Keys. Let's see. Yeah, look at it, and then you can see where it gets to the ocean there beyond the coral. Let's see, Shark Ray Alley. Oh, wow. Oh, sweet little shark. I love sharks. They are my favorite fish. I just find them so fascinating. And lots of little sharks live in the coral here. I guess those are ray sharks, right? By the name. Lots of fun. I would go out here in a heartbeat if it meant I got to see sharks in the wild. I don't think I've ever seen a shark in the wild, to be honest. Let's see this key. Any pictures? There's a doggo. Let's look at one more. Make sure that we're still in the right area. Oh yeah, definitely. This is the big one over here. This atoll. Marine Reserve, perfect. Oh, no pictures there. Let's try this one. Come on. And, all right. Scary bridge. Don't like that. Wow. Oh, how fun. Those are the pictures I want to see. Swimming out in the middle of the atoll. Exploring the coral. I wonder if I can turn on the street view, which it's going to flash blue, so hopefully it's not too bright. And see if anyone has tagged the spot out in the water. Looks like this one. Hopefully it's under the water and not like a drone above. It's under the water. Bingo. Look at all of the coral life here. Wow. I really need to get scuba licensed so that I can do this in real life one day. How beautiful. I just think this is like miles upon miles of just this, with fishy creatures all swimming around, all living within this ecosystem. This whole underwater forest. So, so beautiful. Coral reefs are just incredibly precious. All right, we're going to close out in the great blue hole. And remember, this is not part of the area, but we have to see it. Dun, 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 dun. The great blue hole, it's blurry. But this is, we still have street view on. We don't need that. These are good pictures. The great blue hole. So this is essentially an underwater, like, cave or sinkhole that you can, like, sit on the edge of the coral here. There's a boat in there. can sit on the edge of the coral and put your feet in. Well, don't sit on the coral, but sit on the edge here and dip your feet into the great blue hole. Like, look at that. Okay, that has to be photoshopped. But, amazing, right? Yeah, like this. I wish I could zoom in. That's what I mean. You can dip on the edge. There's a sharky friend swimming around in the great blue hole. Looks like a shipwreck there, to be honest. But we're going to end our video here for tonight. So thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this style of content, please consider subscribing. In my series, I'll just tell you now, next we're going to hop over to Tunisia, one of my favorite countries in the whole wide world. But we're not going to be going to Tunisia for a while because we're about to do my yearly tradition at the end of December called Viewer's Choice, where you guys, the viewers, got to pick what topics I'm going to discuss. So it's kind of a little vacation for me and a little bonus for you guys to hear topics that you want me to talk about. And I'm just going to check out books from the library and just read them to you. So we all get something that we want. And the topics are already chosen, so don't suggest any. They're already set. But that's going to be coming over for the next 2 weeks on my channel at the end of the year. So I hope you'll join me. And I hope you enjoyed my last scripted video of 2024. Here's to another year. Next year we're going to hit the seas. We're going to wind up, at this time next year, we'll be in the CEs. Really excited about that. But I'll tell you all my new schedule in my New Year's Day video, another tradition I have, a New Year's Day kind of update for the channel. I'll tell you my new schedule. But until then, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Let me know any thoughts, feelings, opinions down in the comments below. I read every single comment. If you leave me a comment, I promise you I will read it. I hope that you found this video to be relaxing and educational. And I hope that you have a good night. Good night. Good night.